Hello everybody, welcome to the episode 4, which is the Boolean tutorial in our crash course of Maya. Okay, let's get started. So, the Boolean tool basically uses objects to either cut out or add on to various meshes. So that sounds quite confusing at first, and I'll give you a little demonstration on how it works and what different settings are used in the Boolean tool. So say I had this and then I wanted to cut in a, well, I'll show the extrude tool. We'll size that down and then extrude that in. Say we want to make this effect, but we don't want to go through all that, that hassle of extruding and whatnot. Most of the time that's the easiest option, doing the extrude. However, there's going to be times where you have a more complex shape that you want to, cut out of the cube. But that's definitely going to have to use Boolean, and I'll show you why. So if I go to the cylinder, I can size it up a little bit, and what I will do is I'll go and I'll select every other face. There we go. I'll extrude it out a bit, and you'll see why. Just so it's a different shape, yeah? What we can do now is I have made a mistake. I've selected something else, so that's no worries. We can rotate this. So if I hold J on the keyboard, click and drag, then it snaps. And that's good to get a nice 90-degree angle. If I pop that in just inside the cube slightly, actually zoom in, we can actually see it's passing through. What we can do now is use the bit that's hidden to cut out of the cube, and that's quite useful. So what we need to do is we need to select the cube first, because this is going to be the master, the main mesh, and then the second, the secondary mesh that's going to do the cutting needs to come second. So if we click that first and then hold shift and then click, it has to be done in that order. We can go up to mesh, booleans, and then we want the difference, because it's going to basically cut out the difference of what's hidden. Best thing to do is just do I usually do normal or edge. It depends if you've got a sort of an open cube. Just leave it on normal, and then we click apply. Then you can see you've instantly implanted that shape into your cube. Now there is some optimization that needs to be done here, so these two faces need to be cleaned up, and that is the downside to booleans. They can be quite messy. However, if done correctly, they can be very effective with shapes, so bear that in mind. However, everything else in here is done quite nicely. So we've got cubes and a triangle. We don't have any n-gons, and basically an n-gon is a 5 or more sided shape, and we want to avoid those when we can, because it's not good practice. So for example, this one is a massive n-gon, so we'll have to fix it up, and I'll show you how to do that in another tutorial. So that's the difference setting on the Boolean. If we go to intersection, I'll delete this and I'll show you two cubes. What we can do is duplicate and then just sort of have them passing through each other. What intersection does, it basically, anything that is visible to the eye is deleted, and anything that's underneath or inside the mesh is kept. So again, click one, shift the other, mesh tools, booleans, and go to intersection, and there you go. So basically it's got the left side of our right object and the right side of our left object, and then they've planted together. So I don't know whether you have to merge these verts together. Yeah, you do. No, you don't. I already done it for you. But then you get these sort of vertexes quite close together here. So again, optimization. Let's use the target weld tool. What we can start doing, just clean it up a bit, and then you can create a various shape like this. So like a shell type shape, like an oyster type thing. But obviously, like I said, the more you do it, the more practice you'll get with different tools, and then you'll use those effectively for your projects. And the last one is called union, and basically, if I show you what that does, this is quite helpful as well. Let's do this. Let's pop here like that. Union connects them together like we do with combine. That's now one mesh. But if we actually look inside our cube, the faces are still here, which is alright, but Boolean works slightly different. So if we Control Z that, or not even that, separate them, that's easiest. If If we click one and then the other, and then go to Mesh Booleans Union, as you can see here, it's created vertices. So if I now look inside, there's nothing there. We've got an empty hole, and we can actually pass through into the other cube. So that's nice. However, like I said, optimization, this here is a big n-gon. So the tool that I would use is the multi-cut tool, and I'll just grab there to there, and then enter. So now what we have, we've got a four-sided shape and a four-sided shape, and that's optimized well. So that's another use. So you can do all these, but maintain the actual shape of the mesh. You don't have to, you know, by adding like lines and vertices, you know, it's not actually going to overall affect our shape unless we choose it to. For example, adding a division in there, so we create a vertex and we can bring that out. It's the only time it's going to affect. Yeah. So that is Boolean, guys. I hope that's helped, and hopefully you can find some nice use for it. It's best to always practice the sort of tools that I show you, just to get a feel for it, and then you'll sort of understand what works, what doesn't. You know, what are the best things to do if you know, because no modeling's ever the same. You sort of take it as you do it, you know, and you just use your knowledge and experience of these tools to think, okay, that tool will work best for this situation, and that will be for another situation. And that's usually how modelling works. You know, it's never a yes, you do this, this, and this, and then it's done. There's usually always a few problems, but it's learning to solve those problems, which is going to be quite useful to you. It's going to help develop your sense for these 3D applications. So I hope you like this, guys. I'll see you in the next tutorials, which will be looking at the smooth tool, and that's very important for organic shapes, for example, humans. So won't go into too much detail on that, but I'll show you how it works. So see you next, guys. Peace.